These were the days of Resdania, when Khymer and Dwemer lived under the wise and benevolent rule of Almsivi and their champion Hortator. When the gods of Veloth would retreat onto their own to mold the cosmos and other matters, the Hortator would at times be confused. Vivec would always be there to advise him, and this is the first of 3 lessons of ruling kings. The waking world is the amnesia of a dream. All motives can be mortally wounded. Once slain, themes turn into the structure of future nostalgia. Do not abuse your powers, or they will lead you astray. They will leave you like rebellious daughters. They will lose their virtue. They will become lost and resentful, and finally become pregnant with the seed of folly. Soon you will be the grandparent of a broken state. Soon you will be mocked. It will fall apart like a stone that recalls that it is really water. Keep nothing in your house that is neither needed or beautiful. Ordeals you should face unimpeded by the world of restriction. The splendor of stars is Iam's domain. The selfishness of the sea is Secht's. I rule the middle air. All else is earth and under your temporal command. There is no bone that cannot be broken, except for the heart bone. You will see it twice in your lifetimes. Take what you can the first time, and let us do the rest. There is no true symbolism of the center. The Sharmat will believe there is. He will feel that he can cause years of exuberance from sitting in the sacred, when really no one can leave that state and cause anything more than strife. There is once more the case of the symbolic and barren. The true print that is cursed and demonized will be adored at last with full hearts. According to the codes of Mfala, there can be no official art, only fixation points of complexity that will erase from the awe of the people, given enough time. This is a secret that hides another. An impersonal survival is not the way of the ruling king. Embrace the art of the people and marry it, and by that I mean secretly have it murdered. The ruling king that sees in another his equivalent rules nothing. The secret of weapons is this: they are the mercy seat. The secret of language is this: it is immobile. The ruling king is armored head to toe in brilliant flame. He is redeemed by each act he undertakes. His death is only a diagram back to the waking world. He sleeps the second way. The Sharmat is his double, and therefore you wonder if you rule nothing. Hortator and Sharmat, 1 and 1, 11, an inelegant number. Which of the ones is more important? Could you ever tell if they switched places? I can, and that is why you will need me. According to the codes of Mfala, there is no difference between the theorist and the terrorist. Even the most cherished desire disappears in their hands. This is why Mfala has black hands. Bring both of yours to every argument. The one-handed king finds no remedy. When you approach God, however, cut both of them off. God has no need of theory, and he is armored head to toe in terror. The ending of the words is Almsivi. This sermon is one of 3 lessons for individual to become a ruling king and stay a ruling king. The other lessons on this matter are included in sermons 13 and 15. Historically, we're at the stage where the Khymer have already allied with the Dwemer. The first council was formed. The waking world is the Mundus. The dream is referring to the dream of Godhead, that all of Mundus, Aetherius, Oblivion, Anu and Padme are all products of the dreamer, weaving the dream which has taken a life of its own. Being a soul of Nirn, being alive is forgetting or being oblivious to the fact that all that there is ultimately not real. Motives and themes here refer to the patterns of history that can be abandoned, changed and molded into something different instead of being repeated, and yet they will be remembered. Then Vivec warns us not to abuse the power of a ruling king. As Vivec explained in Sermon 4, to be a ruling king, one must make difficult decisions and suffer for his people. As ruling king, one has not only power and privileges, but also responsibilities. If one abandons those responsibilities for abuse of power, he will no longer be a king. Instead, he will become a ruling tyrant, which will push his own people away and eventually will rule nothing. Keep nothing in your house that is neither needed or beautiful. A reminder to be organized and pragmatic. Dispose of any refuse that brings down the effectiveness and quality of life. This quote can also be applied to the great houses. As dictated in previous sermon, for society to function flawlessly, each member must perform its role. Therefore Vivec calls for intolerance of the lazy, the beggars, and weaklings. Then Vivec tells the Hortator that he should fight by any means necessary to achieve victory. I Am rules the stars, Seth rules the sea, and Vivec rules the air. The earth is for Nerevar to rule. In the next sentence, Vivec talks of bones. Here they are the earth bones, the Elnophe. They, through sacrifice, became the world and the rules that govern it. Vivec tells us that no law of natural world is immune to change, be it through force, magic, or enlightenment, such as Chim. The only exception is the heart of Lorkhan, as it is said in the monomyth. But when Trinemac and Oriel tried to destroy the heart of Lorkhan, it laughed at them. It said, "This heart is the heart of the world, for one was made to satisfy the other." Even the power of two prominent Etada cannot break the heart of the world. You will see it twice in your lifetimes. Here, once more Vivec displays knowledge of future events, that Nerevar will see the heart twice, once at the end of the Battle of Red Mountain, and again in his next life when battling Dagoth-Ur. The next line implies either Vivec does not see the full picture of the future, and encourages Nerevar to draw the power of the heart along with the tribunal, or Vivec knows very well that Nerevar will meet his end at tribunal's hands. Vivec could be trying to get Nerevar to lower his guard, to trust his friends and advisors, only for them to turn his trust against him. Next paragraph tells us that the center, here the center of the wheel, orbis, all of existence, has no symbolism, as it, in its complexity, subtlety, and depth, cannot be condensed into simple terms. However, Dagoth-Ur will believe that. He will believe that he can improve the world because he will spend over 400 years in the presence of the heart, in the sacred. That state refers to the unique condition Dagoth-Ur is in, his connection to the heart and his, let's say, reverse Chim. He believes everything is a part of him, instead of everything being a part of the dreamer. In this state, he cannot cause only strife. In the next few lines, the true prince can refer to both Nerevarine, who is opposed by the tribunal temple, and until he proves himself to be the true incarnation of Nerevar, will be doubted by all, but also can refer to Lorkhan, by some to be believed to be the prince of Mundus, as Daedric princes are rulers of their own realms. The codes of Mfala refer to a line earlier in this sermon. All art eventually will not captivate the audience. The art of the people are the trends and the desires of the population. To marry them is to embrace those wants and provide them to the people. To have them murdered is to shift the focus of people to a new thing, leaving the old to be forgotten. This way, the ruling king can keep his kingdom under control and his people satisfied. The ruling king that sees in another his equivalent rules nothing. This line instructs a ruling king to act with confidence and authority at all times, even when dealing with other, more powerful beings. The secret of weapons is that they determine who rules. The strength and capability to kill decides if one is fit to rule. The mercy seat is the throne, as ruling king must be merciful but also firm and unyielding. The mercy he shows can be for individual and for the whole, as culling the weak and troublesome will make the rest strong and functional. Language is immobile. It is fixed and unchanging. It also means that word alone will achieve nothing. Action must be taken. But action without purpose or consideration is senseless and will not achieve its goals. As such, words have to work together with action, or symbolically, with the sword. Here once more we hear of the words and swords. In Sermon 6, the sword represented I Am, while the word referred to Seth. In connection to this sermon, the sword, the action, is once more I Am, the most involved with her people. The word, the language is Seth, the knowledge and wisdom. But these two concepts merge in Vivec, the warrior poet, one to have the ability to inflict death, and the knowledge to direct those skills. The ruling king is armored head to toe in brilliant flame. The flame is the divine knowledge, the perfect intelligence, armored for it protects him from attacks as he can see them coming from afar. He is redeemed by each act he undertakes. Ruling king needs no guilt, as the brilliant flame, the knowledge, is his to decide the course of action. As such, he is incapable of making mistakes or poor judgment. His death is only a diagram back to the waking world. He sleeps the second way. This has us believe that the ruling king can return from death. It is theorized that souls of mortals are in some way recycled in the dream sleeve, only to be returned to Nirn. For regular mortals, this means that their souls are stripped of memories and character, and are born anew as a blank slate to be filled with life's experiences. The ruling king, however, if we follow the example of Nerevar and Nerevarine, the ruling king will retain certain parts of his knowledge and character to continue living in a new body. Sleeping second way refers to the reality being a dream. Inside it, we all are participating in said dream, dreaming ourselves. Attaining Chim is like lucid dreaming, becoming in control of the dream. But being a ruling king, it seems, is being part of the dream and knowing it is one, but it's unclear if Chim is what comes after attaining status of a ruling king. The Sharmat is his double, and therefore you wonder if you rule nothing. This is a callback to the quote earlier in this sermon. The ruling king that sees in another his equivalent rules nothing. Sharmat is Dagat and being a double of Nerevar is interesting, as no matter how powerful the Hortator becomes, the Sharmat will always be a match for him. As is written in next paragraph, could you ever tell if they switched places? Vivec associates both Hortator and Sharmat with number 1, but together they make up 11. In Sermon 29, number 1 represents the tower. It is what Lorcan saw when he looked at the Orbis sideways. It represents the prison to be broken out of through the walking ways. Seeing the tower, comprehending it, is necessary to achieve enlightenment, and both Hortator and Sharmat are on a path to conquer the dream. However, number 11 is the number of the master, but with two of them, which one is the master? There can be only one ruling king, so it is that together they are masters of the world, but as long as both live, they both rule nothing. They view each other as their equivalents. Once one wins, he will become the master in its entirety. Vivec is capable of telling Sharmat and Hortator apart, because he himself is a middle ground between the other two opposing forces, Sect and Ayam. The next paragraph is quite esoteric and will require more explanation. Mfala embodies the two extremes, sex and murder, but she pursues the action, not the result. As such, she seeks sex without passion and murder without a cause. Similarly, a theorist will debate for the sake of the debate alone, and terrorist kills for the sake of killing. To say that there is no difference between the two is to look back earlier in this sermon. A theorist is using his mind, a terrorist his body, word and action. Mfala blends these two just as does Vivec. Ayam and Boethia are the rash and impatient, eager to draw swords. Sect and Azura talk, study, prophesize. The most cherished desires vanish in their hands, because their desire is the thing they do, not for the outcome, not to achieve something, but to relish in the action itself. Mfala's hands are black, blackened by the actions she takes, through the crushed ideas and extinguished lives. Bring both of your hands to every argument. Use both logic and violence to prove your point. Gesticulate with them to convince and strike to subdue. One-handed king finds no remedy. From the very first sermon, for I have crushed the world with my left hand, but in my right hand is how it could have won against me. A ruling king must know how to win, but also he must know how his enemies might win against him. Only this way he can be a true protector of his people. However, there is no winning or debating with a god. He is omniscient and unassailable, so your knowledge and skill are useless. One cannot argue with an entity that encompasses everything and everyone. and to stand in his presence is so soul-crushing that no one is able to resist him. To acknowledge him and yourself as part of him, part of a dream, is to deny your own individuality. To be able to isolate yourself and say, I am, that is the tower.